Hello, this is Melissa Shaw with Our Generation, where we educate, empower, and inspire. And once again, I'm reminded that I need a team. So I'm gonna be working on that this year.
She's hiring.
I did not have her in my calendar. She walks in and is like, "Hey, we're gonna interview." I'm so glad I was here.
Yes.
I'm so
Yes.
glad I didn't tell you to meet me at the coffee shop.
Yes. But you did consider the meeting that you have tonight. So you were like, just come over
Oh
to
yes.
P30. Mm-hmm. You
You
were
know what? See, the universe always makes sure that I got it in line, even though when
mm-hmm.
I'm not in line.
Gonna give us
Anyway,
what we need every
yes,
time.
yes. So no,
Mm-hmm.
welcome.
Thank
So please
you.
let the people know your name and kind of a little bit about yourself and your business.
Okay. So hey everybody, I'm Latoya Owens. I am a licensed mental health counselor here in Indy. I am also the founder of A Blossom and Rose Incorporated, which is a nonprofit that was created to help break the stigma regarding mental health in underserved communities. We have recently rebranded and relaunched, and I'm super excited about some of the things that we have in store this year. So I came to talk about myself and everything we have going on
Yeah,
with Melissa. So
yeah, absolutely. So when did you get started? So how long have you been in mental health licensed
you
therapist?
want to hear what's crazy? My undergrad is in HR. I never
Really
had any intention on becoming
interesting.
a therapist initially. So a little bit about that, and I won't take too much time
No,
with
girl,
it.
this is no. Go
But
ahead.
I started off in HR. I got done with school. I thought I had really made it. Girl, I had landed this job where I was making a couple dollars. You couldn't tell me nothing, and I hated it. I
Mm,
mean, I absolutely hated it. Like, I was working more than 40 hours a week. I was
mm-hmm,
constantly just kind of like always busy and navigating whatever that mess they had going on.
mm-hmm,
And one day my daughter came to me and she was like, Mom, you're always mean. You're always on edge.
mm,
And I felt so bad and so guilty. And I said, you know what? This job got to go. So
mm-hmm.
I literally, y'all, I quit. Like I
Wow.
came up with a plan, of
Yeah.
course, and then I quit. But that's when life took a turn and my faith changed tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
So when after I had quit, I had actually had a couple like community partners. One of the guys is Anthony Marshall. He's actually the founder of Scholars. Are you familiar with Anthony?
Uh-uh.
We got to get him on here too.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
the founder of Scholars, but basically Anthony like kind of like directed me to work with the Youth Advocate Program. So I started doing career coaching for YAP for like children that were underserved or like had different cases, like
Mm-hmm.
open cases for violence and
Mm,
robbery and all of this stuff. And I fell in love with it.
mm,
So in addition to that, like a couple weeks later, I started working for the Department of Child Services as a contractor. And when I started working, I noticed that there was a consistency within our community. And it was that a lot of the people that looked like me were getting what they needed. Like
mm.
they didn't have therapists that were relatable for them. So they weren't doing the treatment, which meant that their case stayed open longer because if you're
Yeah,
not participating, they're not going to give you your kids back.
yeah.
And I remember one day I had talked to a lady who was battling with her, she was bipolar, schizoaffective. And she had actually told me, like, I'm not doing this. She can't relate to me. She doesn't understand me. They don't even believe in what I'm saying because, she's on meds. She was stable, but she wasn't stable enough.
Mm,
And I said, you know what? I'm going back to school.
mm.
Because if I do this, I want to do it right, right? I
Yeah.
don't want to just like halfway it. I don't want to create this organization without a strong foundation. So
Mm.
I went back to school and here
That is
we
so
are.
dope.
Yeah.
I love that. And I feel like a lot of businesses come from a need that someone sees or
Mm-hmm.
something that they personally experience.
Yes, yes, yes,
And I love that. And yes, the youth, that's one of the things that I, you know, have a heart for when it comes to them, but on the entrepreneur side.
yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to give them another lane. Like you don't have to go to college. You don't
No,
have to go work for someone.
right. Mm-hmm.
Because especially kids that have dealt with struggles, maybe they aren't equipped to work at a job. They're
Mm-hmm.
quitting every other,
This
job
is
they
very
get
true.
because they can't deal with the structure. And so where does
Mm-hmm.
that leave them?
Right.
There is no place for them. And so
There
I want to be able
isn't.
to come in and feel that and say, hey, I'm sure you're creative. Let's come up with something
Mm-hmm.
that you love to do and let's try to create a business.
And you know what that's going to do to their self esteem, just to be able to find a niche for them.
Mm-hmm.
Kids that have went this whole world like not having any stability, not having any place, but
Mm-hmm.
you giving them that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Definitely keep me in the
excited.
loop of that.
Oh, absolutely.
However I can help for sure.
So Carmen,
Carmen,
my girl.
love Carmen
So
down,
actually, should be here
pulling
tonight.
up. Mm-hmm.
But me and her are working on some things, and I will not say it online
Mm-mm.
because um
You guys,
but it's going to be good, and
mm-hmm.
it's definitely lining. Everything is lining up, and even with what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
is in alignment, and that's I want. I feel like the universe is definitely putting people around me that will make sure that what we're doing is going to happen.
I agree. I
Mm-hmm.
really feel like these last couple years, you asked me how long I've been doing BRI. Well, initially we started off as the Blossom and Rose Foundation. And then I found out, well, the founders are the people that give the money. You ain't got no money. You better do a little rebranding and some renaming.
Right.
So we switched to Blossom and Rose Incorporated, but we really just started off with like doing events, like bringing togetherness and awareness. And then it has literally just spiraled and into something great. I'm not going to complain, but it went so fast,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like now I'm being introduced to great people. I'm
Yeah.
meeting different people. I'm having different connections, and it's major. But I just know like when my faith changed, and I stopped asking God for what I felt like I needed, and started asking Him to give me direction and alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Here y'all are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
So, what kind of events do you have?
So we are working since our rebrand. So our programs are a little different, right? So we will have quarterly fundraising events, but we will also have annual events. So the quarterly events are also they will always focus on self-care and personal development. So we have one coming up on May 17th. So if you guys follow our business pages of Blossom and Rose Inc., you'll see some information about that within the upcoming weeks. But we also will have these annual events that will kind of target different issues that we have in a community, mainly around like mental illness and how
Mm-hmm.
people go undiagnosed or misdiagnosed, but just bringing awareness to different things. But our programs is what we're really trying to push this year. So we have, oh, and we also have cultural wellness circles. Let me say that they will be starting in April. And these events are not really events, they're real life like mental health support groups. So they will be small and intimate, 12 to 15 people, and we'll just talk about everything, like kind
Mm.
of putting it on a flow.
I
So
love
a
that. Is
lot
that
of
going to be
tissue.
weekly or
That's going to be monthly.
monthly? Okay.
And I believe our first one is the last week of April. Don't quote me on
Okay.
that one though.
Okay. I love that. So, what keeps you inspired to continue this?
I think a lot of it is just because it feels good to me, right? Like when you go your whole life trying to figure out your why, right? You go through these ups, you go through these downs, you go through these highs, you go through these lows, and you finally find your place, like what you're doing for the kids. It just keeps me inspired. Like I don't even have to try hard. Like I
Mm-hmm.
went out with my friends yesterday and literally went home and did my PowerPoint presentation for something I had to do today. Like, and I got home at like 11 o'clock.
That's what we do. I was
This,
up. What was it? A couple of days ago. So I'm
mm-hmm.
submitted um, an application for something, and I did
Mm-hmm.
it last night at 12 o'clock at
At
night.
12 o'clock at night, and it got done, didn't
It
it?
did get done.
Period.
It did get done.
Period.
Yep.
But let me tell you, so it's like, but when that fire is lit, it's just like I
Mm-hmm.
don't want this to burn out because this feels good to me, and then I'm
Mm-hmm.
helping people, and then when I get that good feedback too, even constructive criticism, because I've had some people say, I don't agree with the way you do this or the way you do that, and
Yeah.
that's okay with me. But when that fire is lit and I can see the fruits of my labor being kind of put out there,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes me want to keep going.
Yeah, I love it. So this is all that you do now.
This is no, I still practice as a clinical mental health counselor. So I
Okay.
have clients. I'm glad you
Okay.
said that. And I am still accepting new clients. Now, when it comes down to my work as a therapist, that's a little different because I'm a newer therapist. So I am under the supervision of someone else. However, those two things are separate. So if you're looking for a therapist, feel free to hit me up too. But that's a little different from
Yeah.
BRI.
Where do you foresee BRI going?
I foresee BRI just blooming, like seriously going to the next level. Today, in our 2 to 3 year goals, we actually had we wanted to get into like different organizations and corporations and companies to help with like employee morale and like their mental health. And we actually did a training today, and that was a
Nice.
2 to 3 year goal, and it happened today.
Wow, I love
And
that.
we,
Okay,
okay,
pause.
pause.
I'm doing two things at one time, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna let her in,
Okay.
and then we'll resume. We are back on the same day, but in a different location because I said earlier I need to get my life together, and I appreciate you being so flexible. So yeah,
It's
so
really not that
you
bad,
was
y'all.
talking about what you had to do this morning
Oh,
that it
okay.
got pushed up. Like you, that was a
Yeah.
2 year goal
That was a
plan.
2 year goal for BRI. So what I really see for us is just getting a little more proactive in the community, building more connections, expanding on our programs, making sure we reach more people. Like now we have a really good following. I will not complain. God has been good. But I want to touch the world. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Eventually, I want us to become a national and then an international brand or legacy, I guess you can say. So
Mhm.
that's where I see us going.
I
And I'm
love it.
patient.
Yeah.
I understand that slow and steady wins the race. I try
Mhm.
not to rush the process and just kind of allow myself to sit in it and
Yeah.
take it all in.
Do you feel like being a business owner that's one of that's hard to do? Is not rush the process.
You know what? I think that if you get too consumed in what's around you, you will.
Mhm.
But when you kind of see things like lining up
Yeah.
and working for you in your favor, then you realize that everything is going to go exactly how it's supposed to.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
I just got to kind of chill out and
Mhm.
constantly tell myself to chill out. But yes.
Mhm. And sometimes, I know for me,
Hmm.
if I'm moving too fast, I don't see things lining up.
Yes. Or you don't appreciate it.
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, slow down and really look at the dots being connected.
You know what? I'm glad you said that. So I literally was just talking to my secretary on the way here. She went with me for the training
She
today.
has a secretary, y'all.
No, listen, no,
So I'm
let
gonna
me,
need one.
no. So listen, with nonprofit, they make you have a
I know I
board.
have a nonprofit. Yeah, I
Oh my
know.
God.
Yeah.
And that's the part, the logistics I can say that I would really love to do without
Yeah.
those, but it comes with the territory. But anyway, so we were talking on the way here and she had asked me, she was like, "You did so good today. Are you proud of yourself?"
Mm.
And I want to tell you that being vulnerable, woman to woman, business owner to business owner, that is probably the hardest part for me. My
Mhm.
mind is always on hydroplane. I'm always go, 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 go. What's next? What's next? What's next?
Mhm.
And I literally, maybe like a year and a half ago, when I graduated from college, I said to myself, you really need to learn to take things in, like to really live in those moments. So I have been challenging myself to do
Mm.
that. So today, when I got home before I came and met you, I sat in my room and I cried like a baby
Aw.
because I was just, so proud of how things turned out. And just
Yeah.
like I said earlier, it's just really good to see the fruits of your labor. So I
Mhm.
allowed myself to feel through those emotions and realize like today was major instead of just being like, okay, what's next?
No, oh my God, you said it right there. And I
Mm-hmm.
struggle with that. And that's what I love about me doing this podcast is
Mm-hmm.
because it allows us to slow down and talk about and really be like, damn, I'm dope. Like I really did that.
You really
And
did.
it's not, we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be
Mm-mm.
polished. We can just
Mm-mm.
literally just have general conversation
Yes.
about whatever we want to talk about.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that you created this space. Yeah, I shot my shot at Melissa, baby.
She did.
I harassed this young lady, okay? Because I had saw she had worked with my cousin Kiki, and I just had started watching her page and kind of like getting a feeling. I'm like, I really, if I'm gonna tell somebody, I wanted to tell her, and I felt like it was only right because this space that you are creating for us to be able to be vulnerable and transparent and just kind of be open with
Yeah.
ourselves is
Hmm.
beautiful.
Thank
So
you.
I personally appreciate
Thank
it. So
you.
you are dope as hell, since
Thank
I can
you.
cuss on here, because
Yes,
I
you
like to
can. No, thank
cuss.
you. And it's funny because when I started this, I had no idea what I was
Hmm.
doing. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. All I knew was I love business owners and I wanted to do something for them.
Hmm.
And it just evolved to what it was supposed to be. Like it's been over 200 businesses that I've interviewed.
Oh
In May
wow.
it'll be 3 years. I know my
Wow.
daughter's like, Mom, you need to do something. So I'm
You do need to
definitely,
celebrate yourself.
yeah, I'm gonna do something. I don't know what. I'll probably do something at the coffee shop, Farm
Okay.
Free,
Hmm.
because I do a lot of my recordings there, and that's where I started my YouTube channel was there.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
And I've been doing that. So YouTube has been 2 years, but
Hmm.
I started off on a radio app, and that was a year that I did that where it was just audio.
Oh wow. Okay, so
Hmm.
now you're on YouTube.
Yep.
And this is where we're taking off. See, I was just stalking your page. I didn't even know it was more to come. So now I got to go stalk you on YouTube. Look.
Yes, yes. So yeah, my youngest person's been 9 that I've
Oh
interviewed. Her and her
wow.
mom have a business together.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just been really it's been almost therapy for myself. It allows
Mhm.
me not to be, and I keep saying us as business owners, we have to be so polished and we have to be on point every time. And this like I mean, we're in a different location like
We done switched it up, baby,
and I
and
just
went with
but
the
life is
flow.
like that. We have to
Mhm.
pivot so quickly.
Yes.
So this is a perfect example
Of what
of
that looks like.
you have to
Mhm.
pivot and now y'all get a real live view of what that looks like. So
So serious.
yeah, because when
Mhm.
so when you came to the door, I cannot. I couldn't see who it was.
Mhm.
So that far away, there was a glare, so I didn't know it was you.
Mhm.
And I told Crystal, I said, "Is your meeting here?" Still not even. And then when I said, then she was like, "I'm here to interview," and I'm like, "Oh my god,
Oh yeah, that's right. That's today.
like seriously, yeah, I gotta." But again, life is like that, and
Mhm.
that's why I don't edit because life is not edited.
And you know what? Give yourself grace, y'all. Because even though she wasn't ready, she was ready. I got on a mic. She has her
I
tripod.
know.
She has on a mic. So baby girl was still ready.
I
She
always,
ain't
but
giving
you know,
herself enough grace.
but I do that because I have to stay like I have to have
Mhm.
stuff because something is always missing or just I just gotta make sure that I'm on point
True.
because my mental I be forgetting so much stuff,
Well, I got you. Look, use your
girl.
resources.
No, for real. But no, so I appreciate us doing it and we was no, we're not gonna reschedule. Let's just
Mm-mm. Let's just
we gonna
do it.
thug it out. We gonna do
Mhm.
it. We gonna
Because
make
it's
it work.
actually refreshing. It don't
Yes.
feel like work. I
It
ain't even do no makeup. I just
that
walk
apart
in.
like
Mhm.
literally,
Uh-oh.
yeah, so low battery. Don't know how that happened. I charged it last night. See,
I
just
never charge my phone.
how, then what do you do?
Girl, when it goes dead, I'm like, oh, I need to charge
I
it. And now it's ridiculous.
don't
I'm
even
too
know
old.
how because I did charge it last night and I haven't really been on it today. So I don't
Hmm.
know. Anyway, so one of the things I always like to ask people is, what have you learned about yourself during this process?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would have to say that I didn't know how to celebrate myself. I didn't know how to be encouraged with who I was and accept me for me. Like
Mm,
I had to learn to love me unconditionally, and it wasn't an easy journey. Like I started therapy probably 8, 9 years ago.
mm,
And of course, I remember my first therapy session. Oh, I wanted to cuss her to feel. She asked me, why don't you feel like you're deserving? And
mm,
it floored me because I'm thinking I'm this confident, you know what I'm
mm,
saying, secure woman. And I was like, why do I feel like that? And then I started to pay more attention to my patterns and my
mm,
behaviors. And I'm like, I didn't feel like I was deserving.
mm,
So I had to learn to be authentically me, right? And take the good with the bad, realize that a lot of what I've been through has shaped me to be here and just kind of accept those things for what they are.
mm,
And I think that was probably the hardest part for me.
mm,
And like
mm.
I said earlier, just learning to sit in my accomplishments and realizing that I can pop my shit unapologetically, and I had to
Absolutely.
learn that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. It is definitely a learning thing. And it's a beautiful thing,
Mhm.
and I tell people like when I show up, people see me as being confident,
Mhm.
but on the inside,
All
I
this
don't,
fear and doubt,
I
ain't
don't
it?
feel that. And
Mhm.
so now I have to take the outer and make sure that I'm even feeling it inner because it's
Mhm.
outer for a reason.
Right.
So it's there.
Mhm.
I just have to recognize
You
it.
have to recognize it, and it's always two sides,
It is,
you
and being a
know.
business owner puts us in environments and it puts us in scenarios that the normal people don't be are not put in. I
Mhm.
want to say regular people, normal people, but the population is doesn't have to do that, and so we learn and see things about ourselves. Like I'm a huge
Yes.
procrastinator.
Right.
I like to do shit up the fly, but
Mhm.
that is not okay.
I was about to say, what does that do for your anxiety? Cause see,
I'm anxious all the damn time. Like, see, she just therapied me.
no,
She
I can't
did.
even help it.
That is so. No, you're right. She just went therapist. I mean, she said, "So, what does that do for your anxiety?" Like that is so funny. I am always fucking anxious,
Mhm.
always,
Mhm.
and it's just like I have to get. Oh, I'm still working on that. And I was telling someone yesterday that even when you work on healing yourself and like that self love and self talk and trying to work on those traumas and triggers until you are put in a situation
Mm. That's
that
the one right there.
reflects those triggers,
Mhm.
that's when you'll know
If you really
if you've
heal.
really healed from
Yeah.
it. Cause baby, I've
Mm-mm.
been I've been around a person lately that's been in my personal space.
Mm-hmm. And it's a little different for you, ain't
Oh
it?
my God. I'm
I'm gonna
like,
tell
what?
you.
I said, well, I need to fucking start all over again. What
No,
what in the hell?
no. Let me tell you. I tell a lot of my clients this because there was like this little mantra, like I want to be healed. I want to be healed, right? I genuinely think that the key is to be aware. So in
Mm.
this new situation that you're in, right, which we ain't gonna address it, even though I want to get in your business. In this new situation that you have, right? What I heard from you was that I'm aware that I be tripping. And I'm
Mhm.
aware that I still got to do a little bit more work. That's
Mhm.
half the battle.
Yeah.
Just think of Melissa 5 years from now.
Oh
I
yeah, I
mean,
would not.
before
I
five
wouldn't
years
even
ago.
acknowledged
Sorry.
it. I wouldn't even have
Exactly.
been aware of it. Yeah, so I do feel like my awareness definitely is more on point.
Hmm.
And I do a lot of reading, and it's funny because I've been struggling the past few weeks, and this book that I read is called The Untethered Soul.
Oh, I've seen that. Yes.
Ooh, honey
Hmm.
child, that book is so
It's
good, and it
good.
talks about just how not attached. I didn't realize that I have attachments
Oh, yeah.
to
Attachment.
people.
Uh-huh. Are
Um,
you familiar with the attachment theory?
mm-mm.
Okay, we'll have to talk about that a later day because I could go on and on about that, but look into it.
I
Hmm.
will. So not realizing because I don't like to attach to people. Like I'm a
Hmm.
loner, but actually I'm not. I
Hmm.
need that type of
Interaction.
interaction.
Hmm.
But the book was more or less talking about how just let things pass by. Like you can't control whatever the outcome is. You can't control the person that's doing it. Like it's what has happened. So you obsessing over it, causing that anxiety. What is that doing? It's keeping you stuck, and now you done lost how many hours for what? Is it happened? It can't be changed.
That's a good point. And you know what? To piggyback to that question you just asked me about what have I learned? That's one of the things I've learned too, that I can't control everything.
Mm-hmm.
And baby, I am a control freak.
Ooh,
So
me too.
I want to control the kids that ain't listening. I want to control, I want to control like how the narrative is, but I realize that a lot of that comes in
Mm-hmm.
which I want to try to control it because I'm so afraid of something, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
I'm so afraid of losing something or
Mm-hmm.
somebody, or in the case with my kids, I'm so afraid of
Mm-hmm.
them being hurt or harmed. But the
Mm-hmm.
reality behind it is, it's nothing I can do to prepare
Right.
to change that.
Yep.
So I'm glad you mentioned that because
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I wanted to share that I struggle with as well.
Yeah, and business owners, we tend to not let go of control. That's even
Mm-hmm.
more paramount when you're a business owner. Hence why I need a team. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't keep doing stuff by myself because now things are going to start being affected
Mm-hmm.
by it because I'm not giving that control away. Like Carmen was like, no, because she got me together yesterday.
Mm.
She was like, no, I'm your right hand person, so I'll handle this. You need to go do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And
So
it was like,
good.
okay, like it's nice to be able to have someone that I trust her enough that I
Mm-hmm.
know I can walk away and
Yeah.
it's gonna still flow the same.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And that's the hard part. So
it
give
is,
yourself grace on that one too. Like
yeah,
finding a team. I'm not here for them nonprofits.
I
Let me
know.
stop saying that.
No,
But
I get it. Like the
mm-hmm.
people that I started with my nonprofit, none of them on my board. I'm redoing my whole board right now.
And see, let me tell you, I remember I talked about how I started praying and asking God for direction instead of telling Him what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I literally feel really good about my board right now. It's
Nice,
strong.
nice.
However, it is really hard to not want to still do this, do this, do
Yeah.
this, do that,
Mm-hmm.
and to let them do what they have
Mm-hmm.
agreed to do.
Yeah.
And I feel
Yeah.
because I'm like, this came from me. This is my baby.
Yeah.
Like this means the world to me.
But what
But
I've learned is the nonprofit is not about us.
mm-mm,
We founded the nonprofit, but we wanted it to be for the
for the
community. So, in order
community.
for it to be for the community, we have to operate that way. And so, it
Mm-hmm,
has to operate separate from us. So,
mm-hmm.
you're right now, I'm even putting people in position that, like, I'm going to put someone else as my president.
I
That's a
think
hard
eventually I could see myself
that's a
doing
hard
so.
thing to do, but I realize like I want this to continue on. So if I'm
Mm-hmm.
the key piece in every place,
Mm.
it will never go beyond me.
Okay.
And the whole point of starting a nonprofit was so that the world can be affected by it.
Mm.
So that really helped me to really realize that the people that I bring on now, I have to be very more intentional
Mm.
about the alignment because if something happens to me, I need to know that you're going to carry on the same mission.
Mm. I'm glad you said that. I
Yeah.
think that that's going to make me kind of like revisit the
Mm-hmm.
direction of my organization too,
Mm-hmm.
as well as like our programming, because I do a lot of it just because, I'm the founder and all these other things and I do the connections, but I don't want it to be a sole focus
Mm-hmm.
of just,
And it takes
marketing
time. I've
or,
been 2 years in.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Because I was
you're
over here like, oh
no,
no.
no, so you're good. So it
Mm-hmm.
takes that trial and like my nonprofit I've done evolved and now what I'm doing now
Mm-hmm.
is not what I thought I was gonna be doing when I
Okay,
signed up to
okay,
be a
okay.
nonprofit. So but it's okay. Like
Mm-hmm.
it still has the same thread that what I wanted, but it's just happening in a different way.
Right. Okay.
Um So yeah. So
Okay.
can you tell the people where they can find you at?
So, guys, I am on all social medias now. So, if you look for A Blossom and Rose Inc., we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Our website is a Blossom and Rose Inc. .org. Hold on, it's a Blossom and Rose Inc. .org. So check us out. Sign up for our newsletters. They are about to start in the next couple months, so that we can kind of build that. Like I said, those connections, give people an idea or concept of what we're doing. Look out for our events because if you sign up for that, you'll kind of get the insight on the events. And that's pretty much where I am.
Yeah.
I'm Denise Owens on Facebook. I don't put Latoya on there just because for personal reasons, but if you need to reach me there, that's an option too.
Okay. All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you. This
Thank
has been good. I'm so glad we
you.
did it.
Yes, me too. Thanks for
And
having me.
absolutely, and I can't wait to have you back in 6 months just to see the growth that you've had,
I
because I
appreciate
already know
it.
what's going to happen.
And I will be here.
Yes, ma'am. So this has been Melissa Shaw with Our Generation, where we educate, empower, and inspire. And hopefully you have been inspired by this episode to still do what you need to do, regardless of the pivots and the things that we have to take as business owners. Um, it still has to get done. And so you can do it not pretty, you can do it ugly, you can just however you get it done. But I hope you all know that what she's bringing to the table is very important, is very needed. And so that's just the main thing of being inspired, to know that I can do this, being empowered and educated to know like there are people like me that I can go and have therapy with. I don't have to feel like I have to settle and ask questions. If you feel like that therapist is not right for you, say, this ain't working for me. You pay insurance for a reason. Like you don't just accept what they give you.
Right. I
So,
agree with that. And thank you for the platform. Like I said
absolutely.
before, it's an honor. And
Thank
I'm so
you.
grateful.
Thank you. All right. We are out.